Cool with Clinton. In this video, I'll be showing you how to make a simple web application with JavaScript. As you can see on my screen, I have a simple web application here that helps to tell me the weather forecast of a particular city around the world. For example, let me search for a city like this is the weather forecast of London right now. So let me just search for another city. Let me say New York. So let's see what New York has. So just submit. So we're going to see what New York has. For okay, you can see New York has broken clouds. It gives us the temperature and the image and the icon. You understand? Let's also check out for, let's say, Madrid in Spain. Let's check out what Madrid has. Let's check that. Let's see the weather forecast. You can see Madrid has scattered clouds right now. So I'm going to show you how to make this application, and this was made possible through the help of an API. And you might be wondering what is an API. An API can be defined as a messenger that gets requests. An API is a messenger that gets requests from you, the programmer. It takes a request to a server, returns back a response to you from the server. You understand? Let's assume you went to a restaurant to go and get some food. You going to a restaurant, you don't have access to their kitchen, you don't have access to the kitchen. So you need the waiter to come and get your orders and take your orders to the kitchen and bring back your food in form of response. You understand? In the restaurant scenario, the waiter is the API, whereby the waiter takes requests from which are your orders, takes them to a kitchen, the server, and brings back a response in form of food to you. So in this scenario, the waiter is the API. So we're gonna be using the Open Weather Map API to do this. Understand? So we are starting right now. So why not subscribe so you will not miss my next video? So subscribe now so you won't miss my next video. So let's get into the tutorial right now. So yes, okay, I have Open Weather Map opened already. Just go to openweathermap.org. Go to openweathermap.org. First of all, you need to sign in. So you'll be given an API key. An API key is different from the API. You understand? An API, you need to sign in so you can have an API key. So if you watch now, I just signed in. You can see my username is up here. I use Jordan as the username, Jordan as my username. So I want to have access to an API key. So if you don't have an API key, you can't use the API. You understand? So just click here. So once you sign in, you will see this on the you will see this dashboard. Once you just sign in, you will see this dashboard that have new product services. So click on API keys. See, I've been given an API key right here now. So this is what I need. I need this API key. So I need to go and get an API for the project. So let me just so so this is your API key. So just copy it. You understand? You need to just copy it. After I've copied it, just copy and paste it somewhere. So after that, now you can now click on API. Click on API up here. So after clicking on API, you come down here to the current weather data this year. So after doing that, now click on API doc. After coming, so you don't need to even come down here. You don't need to come down. Just click on read how to start. Click on this link. So after you click on API, you click on this link how to start. Okay, just scroll down. Okay, we are going to use this. This is an API now. This is an API, and the key we copied. We are going to put the key here. This API key will be replaced with the main key that we are given when we signed up. You understand? So you need to copy this API. Ctrl C. I have a notepad here, so just move this. Ctrl V. So copy the API. Here's the API. Just copy it. So let's go and get the key. The key. I forgot to copy the key. So let's just go down to Jordan. You can just click my API keys. So I'm going to copy this key. Ctrl C. So you remove this API key we have here, this API key. So just take it off and Ctrl V. You have your API key already. So now this is a perfect API to fetch weather details for us. Understand? This is a perfect API. So let's see if this API is working. Ctrl C. So just paste it here and enter. Okay, the API key has not yet been activated. Don't worry, they're going to activate it soon. That's why it's showing a 4.1 error. It has not yet been activated. So no, never mind. We're gonna use this already. We're gonna this key has been activated. So just use this API for this. So just Control C. So we're gonna use this first API for the project. I've done this earlier, so I use this API. This key has not been activated. That is why it's showing us a 401 error for a 401 error on the screen. So I'm gonna use this API for the project. So I'm gonna show you how to do this. You can go and try by yourself, and you see it's gonna work for you. So let's get started now. Okay. We need to create now. Let's create this interface. We need to create this HTML first. So let's do that now. So after that, we go to the JavaScript aspect and work with the JavaScript. You understand? So we are getting started right now. So it's weather map.html. So close this. We don't need that again. Okay. Now say weather.html. So we need to now put in some of our HTML tags. So we're going to create a container. Div id equal to container. Okay, we're going to create a container. After we've done that, we need to also create write an header. For example, let's see this. I'm going to say weather app tutorial. So we need to put an header inside there to say weather app tutorial. So we're going to do this in a GP now. We'll soon be done with it. After we've done this, we're gonna create our input, the input field and the submit button. I'll say div id. Let's give this input. Okay, so let's just put input type equal text. It's gonna give it an ID of input field. ID equal to input field. So after I've done that, create our submit button. Just give it button ID. Let's give it submit btn. So after we've done that, just put submit inside it. Okay, we need to also create we need to also create a container for the weather details. You understand? So let's div id equal to weather details. If id equal to weather details. So after we've done that, now we also need to let's put in the weather details inside. So we're gonna put in an image container that's going to help us hold the image. Div id image container that help us with the image. So we're going to put our image field inside here now. Our image tag img src equal to, so let's just put an empty string. Gonna give it an id equal to image. Understand? So it also needs to create the temperature and the description. So let's say h1, give it an id of let's call it temperature temp. So okay, close. Okay, let's click another h1. It should be h3 rather, not h1. You should have an id equal to description. Understand? So that is it. Okay, h1, it should be h1, h3, h3. Okay, so what next now? So we need to go and style this with our css. So let's just say background color. Let's say body background color. Let's say light sky blue. So we need to also give this background color a max width of 100%. 100%. Let's say I should be 100 VH. That should take up the whole height of our computer screen. You understand? So after we've done that, we also need to give the body a display flex, align item, center, justify content, space around. Okay, So let's open our up with live server. Let's see how it looks like. So just control right click and open with live server. So live server should be loading up there now. So okay, after I've done that now, so let's tell our container. So let's say container should be equals container. Let's give it a width. Let's give the container a width of 400 pixels, height of 500 pixels, background color of white. Let's go to border radius, border radius of 10 pixels. After I've done that, I'll show you how this continues. Let's see, let's save the work. Okay, yes, well, that's what I've been doing so far. Okay, it's here. So after I've done that now, so let's start the input, understand the input fee. So I give it an ID. I called it input field. So let's start the input field right now. It's gonna say ID input field. Let's say width should be, let's say 250 pixels. 250 pixels. The height should be 30 pixels. Border should be, let's say 3px solid dark blue. 3px solid dark blue. Let's say border radius. Border radius should be, let's say 10 pixels or 5 pixels. 5 pixels should be enough. Okay. Okay, let's style our button. So I've done that now, so I think we can just, okay, let's save and see how it looks like. Oh, it's not this. Let's give this input field. I give it a border. It should show input field. We are not seeing anything on the screen. So let's check if there's any mistake. Input field, ID input field. So here's also ID input field. But why are you not showing something on the screen with 250 height? So let's see. Okay, it's there now. Okay, so after that now let's type the submit button. The submit button is going to have the same height. Submit button, let's give submit button a height of 30 pixels. Let's give it a width of 80 pixels. 80 pixels. Background color of light gray. Background color light gray. So after I've done that, let's also, so let's see how the button looks like right now. Okay, let's remove the border. Let's remove the border. So we're gonna say border none. None. So let's increase the height. Let's say 40. Okay, if I've done that now, let's also add a cursor pointer to it. Cursor pointer. Okay, now we've done this now. So also, okay. So now let's work with the let's give the image container a div. Let's give it a div image container. Image container. Let's say image container should be image container. Let's say width should be 100 pixels. Height should be 100 pixels, and border 3px solid black. So we can work with our JavaScript right now, so we won't waste much time on this. Okay, we've done this, but okay, everything are all centered to the left. So we can correct that now. So come to our container and keep the display flex. So see what happens. Display flex, and see everything now are on one straight line, and everything now on a straight line. So we can correct that. So let's say flex direction column. Flex direction. Let's say column. So everything returns back to normal. Okay, give this a align item. Align item is to put the content at the center vertically. Align item center. So justify content, let's say space evenly or space around, any one of them could work. Perfect. I think it's okay like this. Or let's say center. Center will be okay. Let's say center. Okay, center. So save. Okay, I think it's okay like this. Now, so enter. Okay, we're gonna enter the city name here. We're gonna click here, and the image comes here. The H1, the temperature and description comes beneath the image. So let's do this right now. Select it onto our JavaScript now. Okay, we're gonna. So once you write this, so once you write the code now, so that's gonna help us fetch. That's gonna help us fetch data from an external website. So we're gonna use the fetch API. So now say fetch. We're gonna use the fetch API. Fetch API. So after I've done that, now we're gonna say we're gonna put in our API inside this parentheses. So let's. I think I'm gonna declare a variable called API or anything. It could be called anything. So let me select API. Let's select URL equal to our API. So I have my API over here. Just copy, Control C. So let's say copy. So come over here and you paste it here. You could call this anything, you understand? You can call it anything because this API is so long. And note, when you are doing this, put the API inside a single quote, a double quote, or a backtick. Anyone, just put it inside a single quote, a double quote, or a backtick. Now, so our URL now refers to this API. You understand? Just like normal variable naming. So we're gonna say fetch URL. We are still fetching this API. You should know that. So after this fetch API syntax is gonna return a promise. Understand? It's gonna return a promise. That's what it's gonna do now. So what we're gonna do now? We're gonna say dot then. You see, in promise they use the dot then and the dot catch. You understand? So we're gonna say dot then. After that, it's gonna return a promise. So after returning the promise is gonna return a response. So the promise to return a response. So let's see the response. Let's see the response now. So let's say response. So we're gonna say console.log response dot JSON. We need to convert our response to JSON. You understand? So JSON data. So Control X. So Control. Let's see what it gives us now. No, that should be here. So let's F12 to get to the console. Okay, it says fulfilled. Perfect. So our promise is working. So after I've done that now, so we're gonna say, so we just got the response. We don't have access to the actual data. We don't have access to the actual data. Understand? So we want to get the actual API data. What we need. We don't just want the response. We want to get the actual data. So we are going to use another dot then now. We're going to use another dot then. So let's say dot then now. So let's say dot then. So we're going to say data. It could be called anything, any variable name. I just chose data. Understand? So we're going to say data. We're going to use the arrow functions. How we have been using. We're going to say console.log data. So we're going to give us. So let's remove console.log. We don't need it. We don't want to console the response. What we need is the actual data. So this actual data was gotten from this response of JSON. You understand? That's where it was gotten from. So we need to get the response first. After the response, we're going to get the actual data in the response. So we're going to say dot catch. This dot catch helps to watch for a network error. Let's assume now let's assume there's an error, like let's assume we had a network break or there was no internet. This dot catch is going to return an error. So we're going to say console.log error. Gonna say there is no connection. Let's say there is no connection. Okay. So as I said, we use this one to get the response, and we use another dot then again to get the actual data in the response, and we use this dot catch for an error that might occur. So after that, just Control X and let's see. You can see now we've gotten the actual data. We've gotten the data. We've gotten all what we want. You can see. So I'm going to show you how to get the image, the temperature, and description of this city, London. I'm going to show you how to get the image. of the weather over there. I'm going to show you how to get the temperature and the city. Understand? So let's declare all I say now. So let's control N. Let's say let's pick all these. It's gonna say I'm gonna pick this now. Our image is gonna come inside our image. Will come inside here, inside this image tag now. So I'm gonna pick this with an ID. Gonna say let's say let image equal to document get element by ID. Document does get elements by ID image. So we've done that now. So we're gonna say after that now we're gonna pick up this temperature and description. So let's do that right now. Let's say let temperature equal to document dot get elements by ID temp. So we're gonna say description let description equal to document dot get elements by ID description ID description. So we've done that now. So we have gotten the actual data. You understand now? So so after that now, so we're gonna say, so we're gonna remove this now. So, so let's get off. Let's remove this now. So we're gonna remove. Let's so leave now. So we're gonna use this double. We're gonna use the curly braces right now because we're gonna have more than a single line of code. So we're gonna use the curly braces now. So after that now, I'm gonna say. So I want to input my, for example, I want to show you how to get this temperature and this scattered clouds, this temperature of a particular city. So I'm going to show you how to do that now. So let's get into the, so let's get over here. So let's open this. So this is an object. So open this array. So we're going to pick up the first object. So after picking up, so let me bring this so you see this is now very bold. So we're gonna pick up the first object. So when you open the weather, you can see we have the description over here, broken clouds for London. For London, see we have the description broken clouds. We need to get, you can see we have the temperature in the main object. We have it here 22.19. We can also get our icon inside this weather. So you see the icon over here 049. So we're gonna use this, we're gonna use this code 049 to get the icon. So I'm gonna show you how to do that right now. So let's go down to our VS code. So I'm gonna say, so let's say the what did I call it? So let the temperature, I'm gonna say temperature.inner text should be equal to data. Data is the actual data. So we're gonna say data dot. So after that, come down to your code now. So where's the data located? Where's the temperature? You can see temperature is over here. So we need to access this temperature now. So how we're gonna access? I'm gonna show you that right now. So we're gonna say data dot list. We're gonna say data dot list. You understand? You know this is an object. You know this is an object, and we can access objects through the dot operator. You can use the square. We can use them. We can use the square parentheses to access object. We're going to use the dots here. We're going to use the dot list. We're going to say data dot list. So after we've done that now, let's say okay. Let's speak. Come here. So data dot list. So in that list now we have data dot list 0. This list 0 refers to the first object in this list. So we're going to say, and the list is an array. So how do we access the first object in this list array? We're going to say square brackets 0. Okay, so we are getting deep. So open this object 0, this first object, open it. So inside the object, we need to access the main property in the object. We're going to say dot main. Okay, after I've done that now, so come down here and I say dot main. Inside the main itself is an object. So inside it, you're going to access the temperature. temperature property. Understand? So we're gonna say dot temp. So let's say dot temp. I hope this works now. So for example, let's just say let's console.log. Let's for example let's remove this. Okay, we can just say so let's see if it works. Let's just say Ctrl X. Come down here. So let's see if it works. You can see it gave us 22.9. You see we are correct. It gave us 282.9. We are absolutely correct. So I'm going to show you how to get more details from this, from the API. You understand? So let's continue. Let's continue doing this now. Okay, it's showing that there is no connection now. Since there's a network, I'm having a network issue over here. You can see there is no connection, but that should not be so. It shouldn't be saying that now. No, not now. So it's gonna get rectified soon. So you need to also get the description. So we're gonna say description.inner text. Description dot inner text should be equal to, let's say, data dot lists dot list. I'm gonna say 0, and the description is inside the weather property. I should have shown you that now. If not for my connection went bad. I don't know why. So it's coming up again. It should be up again. Sorry, I'm having some network issues over here now. So let's just I need to show you how this works. I'm having some connection issues over here. So return this object, return it for me. Oh, I'm having some connection issues. So let's see. Let's save our work. Save the HTML. Save. So come over here. You're gonna return it. Okay, it's giving us objects now. So I want to get the actual API. It's not okay. Sorry, this was not my fault. I should have. Okay, let's just say data. I did not console.log. Sorry, this was my fault. So let's console.log that data. Let's say console.log console.log data. So save. Perfect. Our data has been returned back to us. So I said, want to get access to the description of the weather, to the description. So how are we going to do that? And I said, we open the object and we're going to go to the list property, the list. After I've done that, now open the first object. Okay, going to scroll down. So we're going to see weather. First of all, we worked with main to get the temperature. Now we are working into weather. Click on weather to see weather. Going to see the description over here now. So let me show you how to access that. Now I said data.list. So we're going to pick up the first object inside the list variable, inside the list array. So after I've done that now, so the first object, after I've done that, so we're going to pick up the weather inside the first object in the list array. We're going to pick up the weather. This is it. Now I'm going to say dot weather. Dot weather. I'm going to say, okay, let's, after the weather, we need to access the first element inside the weather object, the first element inside the weather property. So we're going to access the first element. We're going to say square bracket 0, square bracket 0. We're going to say, after that, what I'm going to do, we're going to say square bracket 0. We're also going to say, after that, I'm going to pick, we need to pick the description. The description. We're going to say dot description. Dot description. To save. You can see we have broken clouds over here. So we need to work. So we want to access the image itself now. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So this is working for London. Currently, this is working for London. So we are not yet sure. This actually London details. So after that now, so let's also want to also pick up the image. I'm going to show you how to do that right now. So let's just pick, let's say, so open this object again. Go down to the lists. So the first object is going to say 0. So to access the image, also go back to the weather. So open the weather. So open this the first element in the weather array. So open it. You're gonna see this icon. What we need, we need this code. We need this icon code. We need this 0.049. That's all we need to get the image. So how are we gonna get that now? So let's also copy this. It's also in the same. They're almost similar. Let's image code. Let's image code. Okay, let's image code. Let's image code be equal to. So we're gonna copy from here. Control C and paste over here. Control V. So Control X. Just save your work. So come over here. So we're gonna open this. So open the list array. So open the first objects in the list array. So after that, we have access to the weather. So after the weather, open the weather. I'm gonna say after that, we open the weather, the first objects in the weather array. So we're gonna say, okay. After that, we're gonna put 0 dot. So weather, we're gonna pick the first object in the weather array, which is 0. After that, we're going to pick dot icon. We're going to say dot icon. So let's say dot icon. Okay, now so let's console.log this to be sure we've gotten the actual icon we need. Control C. So let's just console.log image, rather image code. Console.log image code. Console.log image code. So Control X. Perfect. We're going to 0.49. That's all we need to get out to get this image. So we're gonna do that right now. So this is getting interesting. So now we have gotten our image code. So to get the image, we need to copy from this URL. We need to copy from this URL. So let's just say image URL. Let's image URL. Or let's image. Or let's icon equal to, let's call this one icon code also. Let's say icon code. So let's icon URL. Icon URL is equal to this. So we need to copy from this HTTP straight up to org. So copy from here to the data, from HTTP to the data. Control C. So put it inside a string. Control V. So we're gonna change this data to img, which stands for image. So we're gonna say change the data to img. You're gonna say slash w slash. After that, we're gonna put this image code. We're gonna put this image code over there. Now say slash w. So now say plus. We're gonna put the image code. Now say plus. Okay, plus. This should be outside. Should be outside the string. Plus image. Sorry, so plus icon code. So let's see. Just Control C. Let's see if it works. Control V. It's gonna work. Okay, that's all we need for this now. So we've already added the icon code. So we also need to let's now say image.source now. So let's pick up our image. We're gonna say image.source src should be equal to icon URL. Let's see if it works. Oh, since I've made a mistake, let's see if it works. No, it should be here. Perfect. You can see it's working. We have our icon inside there. You know, so we have the icon inside this div. I just hope you understand how I did this thing now. As I said, I copied from this HTTP down to data. I brought it down here. So I changed the data to img slash w slash plus the icon code. And I know how I got the icon code. I have to say data.list. Data.list, which is here. Data, open this. Data refers to the old objects. Now say .list. After that, I have to open this first object inside I have to open the first object in the list variable now. So after I have to go down to the weather property, open the first object in the weather array. After I did that, I have to access the icon. Understand? So this how to access the icon. This how to access the icon in the open weather map this API, you understand? This how to access the icon, this how to access the description of the weather, this how to access the temperature. So I think I hope it's now working, but we are not done yet. We are not yet done. It's gonna say, so I want to give that image contain. I want to start the image. Let me start the image. Let's just copy. Let's just say, okay, copy this, Control C, Control V. So I'm gonna say img. Gonna give the image a width 100% and a height 100%. So let's save. Perfect. You can see it's now bigger. Okay, now after I've done that now, so as I said, now we need to make it this work in a better way. Whereby we're going to enter name of a country, name of a city. We click on the submit button and it's return the details for us, right? So let's do that right now. So we're going to change this now. So we're going to change this this London we have here. This Q equal to London. We need to change that. We want to be using the value from this, the value from the input field. So as I said, let's pick up the input field. So we've not picked up the inputs yet. Let's say let's input field, or let's text field. Let text field equal document get element by I. Document does get elements by ID input field. So I'm trying to pick up this field, this blue bordered field. I'm trying to pick it up in JavaScript. So I'm gonna say, okay, that's I've picked it up now. We have it as text field. So I'm gonna come over here and remove this London. Remove. So I'm gonna remove it. So I'm using the back tip sign. So I'm gonna use template literals over here. So I'm gonna use a dollar sign with the curly braces. So I'm gonna put in text field. So I have the text field inside here now. So this is just the field. This text field just refers to this blue bordered field. So I'm going to say dot value. Dot value refers to the content of the text field. Dot value. Okay, perfect. Now that's it. Now dot value. Text input dot value. That's it. So I think it's now everything is looking good. So we need to also pick our button. The button. So let's pick the button. I'm going to say. So let's button. Let's submit button, right? Let's submit btn equals to documents dot get elements by id submit btn. Yeah, these are submit button. So I'm going to add an event listener to this submit button, an event listener. So I'm going to say submit button dot add event listener dot add event listener. So whenever we click on this submit button, it's gonna return a function. So I'm gonna say find weather. I'm gonna call this function find the weather details. So Control X. So I'm gonna put a comma. So what this does is that whenever I click on the submit button, whenever I click on this, it's gonna run the function. You understand? It's gonna run the function. So I'm gonna declare this function called find weather details. Find function find weather details. Find weather details. So after that, I'm gonna copy all this. So what this does is that whenever I click on the submit button, this will run. This is going to be all the fetch here, the fetch API, everything everything is going to run. So I'm gonna say cut. After that, cut and paste put inside the function Control V. So Control X. So let's see the works. So let's put New York. Let's say New York. So submit. Hope we don't have an error. So let's F12 to see if there's an error. Okay, you can see. What is this? They say can statistical declaration text field. So you have an error. Text field. Document gets element by ID. Okay, there's a mistake here. Okay, you can see I had to like call this text field before it was declared. You can see that text field is on top, and it was declared down here. It shouldn't be so. So I'm gonna say let me copy this. Control C, copy this up. Okay, let's copy this. Control X, and let's put it under. Let's put it beneath. Let's say Control V. Let's say home. So Control X. So let's see if it works. Submit. Click on the submit button. Perfect. You can see it's working now. It's working just fine. So let's check out for Chicago. Chicago. So let's submit. Let's see Chicago. Submit. Okay. Sorry. Okay. Okay. Wait. I also need to add the name of the city under under the image. I think that will be better. That will enable us to understand better. That will make it more clearer. It's gonna say. Let's say let city name equal to. So let me pick up, let me put a markup for the city name. It's gonna say, so let's put a markup. Let's just put a markup for the city name. So we're gonna put that inside here. It's gonna say h1 id should be equal to city. So that's it. So I'm gonna pick that up. That's it. Let city name equal to document dot get element by id city. So Control X, just save the work, save. So we're gonna say city.inner. So that'll be, and I say city.inner text should be equal to, that should be equal to text field.value. So save your work. So submit again. Oh, you can see Chicago. Because Chicago is Chicago is so bright over there. So Chicago is super bright. So you can see this. It's showing us the sun. It's looking so fine now. So I think the this is in the wrong place. So Control X. Let's put that on that. That should be here. Control V. I just hope you understand this. Control X. So let's pick a different city. Let's say Berlin in Germany. Berlin is in Germany. So submit. So let's see what it gives us. You can see Berlin is also clear sky. Wow. So let's check out Lagos, Nigeria. Lagos, Nigeria. Submit. Lagos also clear sky, and that's true. Over here, we're having a beautiful. We're having over here. The weather is super bright. So let's check out London. Oh, there's a mistake somewhere. It's not changed. Just giving us a particular. It's just giving us one particular. No, it should be changing. Understand? So I'm gonna say I think there's a mistake in my code. So select URL equals to HTTP base text value. Let's say fetch URL. Okay, this should be inside the Control X. It should be inside the function. Sorry for that mistake. It should be inside the function. The URL should be inside the function. It should be inside the function. So let's see again. Let's try London. So submit. Perfect. This should be London details now. So let's try Chicago. Chicago. Submit. Why? Chicago is sunny. Okay, let's try Lagos. Submit. You can see it's quite rainy over here in Lagos. So let's try Berlin. Berlin. So submit. Wow, broken clouds. You can see this is working. We just created a simple weather application with JavaScript. So we come to the end of this video. Please subscribe so you will not miss my next video. Subscribe now so you will not miss my next video. Thank you for watching this video. I really appreciate it. Have a wonderful day. Stay blessed and bye-bye.